Hey, what's up, Reefers? This is just a general video on how I deal with hair algae and nutrients and some of the cleanup crew that I employ. Now note there are many different ways to get rid of algae. These are just the methods that I use. So I'll do my best to explain how you can keep your tank algae free as well. Oh yeah, well first, if you have a skimmer cup that's full like this one, go ahead and pause this video and go change that out, because having that skimmer cup full is not going to do you any favors. But before we get ahead of ourselves, the first thing you should do is test your parameters. If your nitrates are high, you're going to have to remove them somehow. They're not going to go away on their own. Alright, where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about algae. As you can see, the algae in this tank has gotten out of control, and if your tank looks like this, you have work to do. Now, if you don't want to do all that work manually yourself, you can employ a cleanup crew. For hair algae, these pincushion urchins do a really good job. You just have to watch them because they like to redecorate your reef tank. And a lot of these astrea snails make short work of hair algae too. You just have to remember to flip them over every once in a while. Cleanup crews can also consist of fish, such as this gold-spotted rabbitfish here. This guy does a really good job on bubble algae. And you have to take tank size into consideration too. Obviously this fish isn't going to stay in this tank long term, but he's doing a great job so far. And you can also employ the Tang gang. They do a great job knocking down algae too. Now I'm going to trigger the Tang police here. This is a 5-year-old purple Tang, and he's in a 75-gallon aquarium. Alright, so let's go back to the Fowler tank and look at this algae. And let's talk about how this happens. So you're probably pretty familiar with feeding your fish and they poop in the water and ammonia turns into nitrate and turns into nitrate, and that's how you get algae. Well, the fish also respirate ammonia as well. So you're going to have to find something to eat this algae and also get that nitrate out of the water. The two main ways of removing nitrate is having algae in the refugium or doing a water change. Oh yeah, remember that skimmer cup I had you change? That's also your first line of defense of any dissolved wastes. So keeping that thing clean and properly tuned will also keep down your nutrient levels. So basically it boils down to this. Either you are the cleanup crew and you are removing the algae, or you get other things to do it for you. That can be the protein skimmer, a refugium, an algae scrubber, and also a cleanup crew. Sometimes the tank requires all of those, sometimes just a couple. It really depends on your bioload and your tank itself. But my best advice when it comes to algae, if you see it in your tank, get up, clean it up, take care of it now, and you'll feel much better later on. Now notice I left out cyanobacteria and biropsis. To me, those things aren't really tied to nutrient levels, and they are a little more challenging to get rid of, but they're doable. But if you made it this far in the video, I'll tell you my secret for having less algae in all my reef tanks. Yeah, I can't recommend having a lot of snails enough. It really does make a difference. So if you're light on snails, consider getting a bunch more, at least 1 per gallon. Another trick you can do is what I'm doing here. You take a turkey baster and you blow the detritus off your rocks. And what that'll do is it'll get it up and it'll get it into your filter sock or your roller or whatever you have that mechanically moves things out of your water. So really what I've noticed is it's a combination between the cleanup crew doing their job and me also tending to the tank. There is no just sitting down and not doing nothing. I'm always actively doing stuff like this. So in summary, test your tank. Do what you know you have to do. Keep that skimmer clean, keep it tuned, and also scrub that algae out the rock and siphon it out, and get yourself a cleanup crew. And if you notice your nutrient levels going up, you may have to do more frequent water changes as well. The one thing I find with reefing is there is no set it and forget it. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching, and happy reefing.